Do you have reptiles? Do you also hate cleaning day, going back and forth from enclosure to the sink? Stick around. I have some tips and tricks that may make your reptile keeping a little easier. Hey everyone, welcome back to 1.0 Exotics. Today I'm going to give you an exclusive look at my reptile cart. This is where I keep all my essentials to help me give my scaly friends the best of care. Whether you are new to reptile care or a seasoned herper, these items are a must-have. Let's dive in. First up, most important supplement to keep on hand, calcium powder. This is a must-have for all reptiles. Calcium is essential for bone health, muscle function, egg production, and overall well-being. I dust my reptiles' food with calcium 2 to 3 times a week, typically every other weekday is what I find best. Be sure to do your research on your calcium powder, whether or not it contains vitamin D3 or not, and make sure to account for your UVB lighting as well. Next up, we've got multivitamins. Just like us, reptiles need a balanced diet to stay healthy, and sometimes their food just doesn't provide everything they need. Multivitamins help fill those gaps, provide a range of essential nutrients like vitamins, amino acids, and other trace minerals. These help support their immune system, skin health, and overall vitality. I dust with multivitamins 2 to 3 times a month, typically rotating every other week for my animals. It's important to note that some multivitamins will come with vitamin D3 as well, just like the calcium. So I personally like to find one without D3 to avoid any vitamin D overload. And here we got my feeding dishes. These are critical for serving it up Gary's way.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
No, in all seriousness, this helps me keep the enclosure tidy and ensure that all foods like greens, fruits, and veggies don't get contaminated with substrate. Plus, having multiple food dishes is super handy. If you ever need to grab new feeder insects or different supplement to dust them with, just take the old one, chuck it in the clean pile for cleaning day, grab a new one out from the cart, and you're ready to go. Paper towels are a lifesaver. I use these every day for cleaning enclosures, wiping down glass, lining quarantine enclosures, and even temporary substrate for sick and hatchling animals. They're so versatile and easy to replace. You always got to keep them within arm's reach. Keeping everything clean is vital for your reptile care, which is why I always keep disinfectant on hand, ready to go. It's great for cleaning enclosures, decor, and even feeding tongs. Just make sure the disinfectant you choose is reptile safe. Follow any instructions to avoid any harmful residue. This one I have here is a hospital grade disinfectant called F10, used by the world's leading veterinary hospitals and zoos. This one specifically I use to clean empty enclosures, the cart itself, as well as water bowls and other equipment that I need to sanitize to prevent bacteria and parasites from spreading. A little bit goes a long way here, so you can get a small bottle off Amazon that's concentrated for about $20. Take that, you mix it down into a tinier spray bottle. Got a lot to last you for a long time. Tongs on tongs on tongs. Feeding tongs are an incredibly useful tool. They allow me to safely offer food to all my reptiles and prevent my reptiles from associating my hands as food. Some of my longer tongs, like these guys here, help me maintain a safe distance when offering food to animals like my sailfin dragon that may still be a little bit defensive and nervous around people. This is especially important to me since I love interacting with my animals. Offering them food, building that bond with a positive interaction, always a must, even if they do only see me as the food man. A spray bottle or mister is a must when it comes to keeping reptiles from maintaining humidity enclosure, helping spray down those higher humidity reptiles, and helping them with the shedding process. I personally have used almost every sprayer / mister on the market, so if you have a small collection, I personally recommend just a small hand mister. But once you start getting up to 4 or 5 animals within your collection, having something like this that's a pump sprayer, your hand is going to thank you later. I recently picked up one of these rechargeable garden misters. I just plug it in, it charges up. I love how much water coverage it has. It gets everything saturated perfectly. Your last option you could go with is an automated mister system. I personally recommend the Mist King. That is the one I have set up on my sailfin dragon. This one is perfect. It has tons of customization and it takes away the headache of, did I miss them last night or this morning? You know, as long as it's topped off, you're good to go. No reptile cart is complete without feeder insects. I personally keep mine in an escape-proof container. I make sure I gut load them before every feeding so they're extra nutritious, and my reptiles thank me every time. My favorite options that I keep on hand are dubia roaches, crickets, and mealworms. These live insects are a great way to provide enrichment into your reptiles' lives, especially your insectivores. They will go crazy. And this guy right here is my temperature gun, an absolute game changer when it comes to checking temperatures inside of my enclosures, one of the most important tools I own. Reptiles rely on the external temperatures to regulate their body temperature, so going in there, checking their basking zones and their ambient temperatures is very critical. This allows me to go in and check that hot side and cold side in my enclosures to make sure my reptiles have a proper thermal gradient to allow them to achieve those body temperatures. Temperature control of your enclosures is critical for digestion, metabolism, and the overall health of your animals, so I always keep mine within arm's reach. I always keep gloves handy. I use them for animal health and personal hygiene, especially when it comes to handling their food, cleaning, and working with my dart frogs. The frogs can breathe through their skin, so it's important when working in their enclosures or handling them. You do not do that without wearing gloves to avoid any kind of potential sicknesses you could give them. Finally, we have my 6.5 UVB meter. This device here allows me to measure the output of my bulbs to make sure that they are still effective for my animals. UVB exposure is vital for reptiles because it helps them synthesize that vitamin D3 we mentioned earlier and necessary for their calcium absorption. Most UVB bulbs typically only last around 6 to 8 months depending on the brand. This tool will help you check and replace those bulbs to make sure you get them before they stop emitting the necessary rays for your animals. And that's it, guys. These are the tools and supplies I keep on my reptile cart to make sure my animals are getting the best possible care. Each item plays an important role in their health and well-being, so I couldn't manage their care without it. If you found this video helpful, please hit that like button, subscribe down below, and please drop any comments you have down below in the comment section and let me know what's on your reptile cart if you have one, or what should I add to my reptile cart. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time. You better hit that like button. You better subscribe. I'll find you. I know where you live.